Hi friends, this is Ray and I want to warn you, don't be fooled when the spring starts to hit and the snow starts to melt. There's some things we need to be really careful of in late season. I want to go over them today. 3 do's and 3 don'ts when it comes to late winter management of your beehives. I'm glad that you joined me today. My name is Ray. I'm a certified master beekeeper, and I want to go over today some of the things that can happen in late winter that can kind of trick us a little bit into thinking everything is okay, we made it through the winter, the snow is starting to melt, things are getting better, and we can think that our hives are going to be better just because the cold has passed by. But there's some things we've got to look out for, and I want to go over them today. I'm going to categorize them simply like this: 3 things that we do need to do and 3 things that we don't need to do in late winter as that snow starts to melt off. So let's go over the 3 do's and the 3 don'ts. We'll start with the positive, the 3 do's, the 3 things that we should do. Number 1, we should check that our bees are alive. There's a couple of different ways to do that. I'll show you them here. If you're like me, you worry about your hives at least somewhat in the winter. Did they make it? How many made it through the winter? The first thing we always want to try to find out is, are our bees actually alive inside the hive? And sometimes it's hard to tell. There's a couple of different ways that I like to check and make sure my bees are still alive inside of the hive and didn't end up being a dead out. One of them is just simply for me to lift the top cover off of my hive. And I'll show you what this looks like. Because I feed on the top of my hives inside of these trays, which are sealed off. So even though there's holes here on the side, I do seal off so no air can get through here to keep this hive somewhat insulated. I can see here in the top that there's activity here in the fondant, and that's one way I can check that my bees are alive. Second way that you can check that your bees are actually alive, of course, is just to take your ear and just put it up to the side of the hive. There's nothing like hearing that little faint buzz inside of there that your bees are thriving inside of here, especially after a really cold break. This is a thermal camera. I'll show you what it looks like and how it works. So you can see all the activity down there in that lower corner today, the red spot. That's where the warmth is on the hive, and that's where the bees are located. Now we'll switch over to this hive over here, and you can see this hive is very strong, as indicated by the red and white spots, a little bit cooler spots on the top. We'll go and check one more because this is so much fun. So you can see where the bees are located, as indicated by the warmer spots on the thermal camera. And of course, the best way to know if your bees are alive is to actually see them flying in and out. Today I've got some pollen substitute. The bees are starting to bring pollen into the hive. I'll show you a close-up. Number 2. We definitely want to be lifting our hives and checking the weight to make sure that there's some adequate food still left inside of the hive. Believe it or not, springtime can be a time that our bees actually starve to death. Sometimes the beekeeper just thinks, okay, it's warm, so there must be something in the environment, but nature hasn't quite caught up. And they're in this season of starting to brood up for the new year. The queen is starting to lay and resources are needed, and so it's important. I feed pollen substitute in the yard. And then when the temperature is below 50 or 55 degrees, I'm going to feed fondant and keep fondant on my hives. But the way I check my hives is very simple. I just simply lift the back of the hive. I'll show you what I mean. Just grab here at the back, lift up. This one is pretty solid. This one is pretty solid as well. You'll get a feel for it. It takes a little while to kind of get a feel for your hive and your weight to kind of determine whether or not there's enough resources. Well, if you lift it up and it just feels mostly like empty frames and empty boxes, that's a big clue to you that they are out of food. And so the second thing you need to do is you need to make sure that your bees are not starving by lifting up, making sure there's adequate honey inside of there, and if not, feed them some fondant on the top. The third do for late winter, early spring is this: make sure that your hive entrance is not clogged. Now, I'm not really talking here about snow and ice, although those can be possibilities as well. I'm really talking about dead bees. If you don't have a top entrance on your hive, it's not uncommon for your bottom entrance to get clogged with bees that have perished over the winter. And as the undertaker bees try to drag them out on warm days, that entrance can get clogged up. And all of a sudden your bees are stuck inside of your hive and not able to actually go out and forage, do cleansing flights, etc. And you can actually lose a hive because your bees get trapped inside and are not able to get outside. So to do that, just simply take a stick and stick it in the entrance and wiggle it around, and that will give you a chance to really clean out that entrance good with your bees. Hit like and subscribe. I would love to have you join me. I'll be producing content every single week right here on this channel to help you with bees, beekeeping management, share some of my experience and education with you, and together let's make this to be the best season that we've had. Now, we've talked about the 3 things that we need to do in late winter, early spring, but there's 3 things that you need to make sure you don't do. We're going to call these the 3 don'ts of late winter management. Number 1 is you've got to make sure that you don't open up your hive too soon. By that I mean not just lifting off the top cover to check whether or not you have any fondant on the top. I'm talking about going through the frames or even separating your supers. If you break that seal too soon and then you have a late freeze in your area of the country, you're breaking all of that propolis seal and you're disturbing the brood nest. You actually can get chilled brood if you leave your hives open too long. There's really a temptation as late winter comes to get in our hives, and sometimes it's best to wait until the temperature is consistently going to be above 55 or 60 degrees during the daytime. And when it consistently gets above that temperature, it's probably safe to go in and at least doing some less invasive inspections just to make sure everything's all right. But other than that, one of the don'ts is make sure you don't go in your hive and break that propolis seal too early when you're getting a little tempted because you just have one warm day and there's still a cold freeze around the corner. Don't number 2, don't feed your bees sugar water too early. Again, this is such a regional thing. So I'm in South Carolina, but it would be totally different like when I kept bees with my father in Vermont, what that early date actually was. But bees can really not digest sugar water well or break sugar water down or dehydrate the sugar water into honey if the temperature is really below 50 or 55 degrees. And so if your temperatures are still in that cooler range, under that range, then it's too early to start feeding sugar water. You'll want to start feeding sugar water to stimulate the queen to start laying a little bit later when the temperatures are above 55 degrees. It's a great way to get your nest really brooded up and your queen really laying good, but if you do it too early, it can actually have adverse effects on your hive, and so just be careful about feeding sugar water too early. Again, it can be that temptation. You have that one warm day and you're just like, okay, let's go. It's go time. I've been waiting all winter. Let's get this hive ready for honey production. But be careful about feeding that sugar water too early. I have a whole nother video on my channel about how bees cannot process sugar water well when it's under 55 degrees. That's kind of my rule of thumb. When the daytime hives don't get much above 55, that's about where I say, okay, it's too early for sugar water. Once they consistently are getting between 55 and 60, then it's time to go ahead and stimulate that hive to get it going for the spring. One more don't for late winter. Don't swap your boxes too early. All the theme of this video is really about doing stuff too early. Swapping your boxes can be something that a lot of beekeepers do every single year. And the reason for it is typically over the winter, your queen and your hive, your cluster, your nest has moved up here to the top. And so a lot of beekeepers will swap their boxes and they'll take their top box and put it on the bottom and their bottom box and put it on the top in order to create more space for the bees. I've got another video coming out about the do's and don'ts for swapping your boxes shortly. But for today, just say, don't get too anxious and swap your boxes too early. You can actually break apart your brood nest in an unfavorable way and separate the cluster of your bees into 2 different sections. And a cold winter night hits and all of a sudden you can find yourself in a little bit of a situation that you caused because you kind of upset the nest. Breaking the brood nest apart later in spring, you can get away with a lot of stuff in spring when it comes to beekeeping because the conditions are favorable and the hive is really forgiving. But in late winter, before things really get going in your area, it's important that you don't swap your boxes too early. And I know sometimes beginning beekeepers, they'll do that. They'll open up and they'll say, oh, my bees are in the top and I want to, get the queen to start laying in the bottom. When can I swap my boxes? And again, I would say wait until that temperature is consistently above that 60-degree mark every single day, and there's really very little threat for a cold front still coming through your area. I know we can never rule out a cold front coming, because you just never know when a late winter blast might come through, even in early spring. But to the best of your ability, just make sure you don't do that too early. So there's 3 do's and there's 3 don'ts for late winter. Spring is on its way. It's coming soon, and it's the most exciting time for keeping bees. And I hope your season this year is going to be absolutely fantastic. Hit like and subscribe. I would love to have you join me. I'll be producing content every single week right here on this channel to help you with bees, beekeeping management, share some of my experience and education with you. And together, let's make this to be the best season that we've had.